Verse 15. Some indeed preach Christ, even of envy and strife. The word preach is to proclaim. Preach, keruso, to herald. They preach Christ, even of envy and strife. The words envy and strife. Envy is internal jealousy or ill will at the expense of another. It's deprecation of someone else. And it manifests itself in the second word, strife or discord. Discord between people. Quarreling between people. Contention between people. That's the physical. Envy is the internal jealousy, and it manifests itself in the physical, where you have the fights, the discord. Corinthians starts out with divisions, because there's contentions among you. There's discord. There's envy, jealousy, fightings among you. Because some were saying, well, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos, I'm of Cephas. Here at Philippi, they didn't have the major problem in practice that they had at Corinth. Here it's more subtle, because the problem relates to the one body. They were talking the Word. They weren't starting to talk different doctrines. They were still talking the Word, but their motives were different. Some were doing it out of envy and strife. Some were doing it because of their ego, because they're preaching the Word. They're doing it because they want to be limb coordinator or president. They're not doing it to move the Word, to serve, to bless. They're not doing it out of love. They're doing it out of jealousy. They want to get ahead. They're doing it and planting seeds of discord. In Philippians 1:18, what then, notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense, that's using a false motive. You're doing it, but you're doing it for the wrong reason. At Corinth, they were doing different things. See the problem? Here, it looks good. It's much more subtle. They were talking the Word. They were much more bold and daring, but with the wrong motive. Envy and strife. Envy and discord. In chapter 2, verse 3, it says, let nothing be done through what? Strife or vainglory. Strife or vainglory. But, in contrast, in lowliness of mind, humility, see? Let each esteem other better than themselves. Some were not doing that. They were thinking, well, I'm God's gift to this community. That's right. Instead, they ought to have been thinking, well, all of you are God's gift to the community. And we're moving the Word together. See? Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Don't be so blessed concerned about your own movement up the ladder that you step on everybody else on the way up. See? Two ways to climb a ladder. If somebody's going too slow, you say, do you mind if I go past you? Or you trample on them. See? And it doesn't matter if you're at the top or the bottom. Spiritually, you ought to be at the top of the ladder. And that's where you want to go. But it takes an attitude of serving. What can I do to serve, to bless, to help, to move the Word? Instead of, how can I get ahead? That's envy and discord. In chapter 2, verse 20, he says, I have no man like-minded who will naturally care for your estate, for all seek their own, not the things which are Jesus Christ. Everybody wants their own thing. That's envy or ego, conceit, instead of doing it to move the Word with love. Full knowledge and spiritual insight, but it's got to be with what? Abounding love. Abounding love. Remember? Back to chapter 1. See, it doesn't look quite as bad at Philippi, sense knowledge-wise. But cancer is cancer. And the way you get rid of it is pray for somebody or surgically remove it, right? That's right. Whether it's a large cancer or a small one, it's got to be removed. And some also of goodwill. Goodwill. A good heart. Someone that does goodwill. A good heart. With mistakes is better than an envious heart with a religiously perfect behavior. It's better to have a good heart. And so what if you make mistakes? As long as you do it out of goodwill, than to have a religiously perfect behavior, but you have the wrong motive. You're full of envy, and that results in discord. You're doing it for your own ego, your own conceit. In verse 15, the Aramaic does not end with goodwill. It adds the words, and love. See, some do it out of envy and strife, and some also out of goodwill and love.